in this message. I look down and the individual says, "Hi, I know you may be unfamiliar with me, but I'm a friend of your girlfriend or an ex-friend, and I have some information I need to reveal to you and share with you."
And here we go.
My name is Pac Manson. True story. My ex-girlfriend faked her mother's death to cheat on me. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take y'all back to the beginning because that probably sounds a little bit wild already right there. You wondering, what? So, a couple years ago, it was about 2019, the summer of, around May, June, the year before, prior, I had gone through a pretty rough breakup with my kid's mother. At that time, her and I had been together about 10 or 12 years. We split up, had been split about a year and a half or so, and I started putting myself back out on the market thinking, okay, man, I'm trying to jump back out here and see if I can find something. I meet a girl on Facebook, we kind of talk, get to kind of knowing each other, notice we have a lot of mutual friends and stuff, so I decided I'm gonna invite her out one day. I invite her out, I believe it was June of 2019. Now, I remember specifically what day it was as far as an event because Smooth Vega, shout out to Smooth Vega, had brought Paul Wall out to a bar / coffee house to host an event in Fort Worth. So that's what I chose to invite her to. I knew I could get in, we're gonna go back, mingle, meet some people, take some pictures, whatever. I'm trying to impress the lady. So let me use some of my connects. We go through the afternoon coordinating and I plan, to pick her up at her home, whatever. So I plan to pick her up, get dolled up, whatever. We go out to the club that evening. We get there a little bit early, have a drink or two, we smoke a little something, and we just in there chilling. I meet a couple of my people up there. I got a homegirl that showed up. My personal DJ, DJ Peyton, my boy from UTK, was in there with me as well, and our boy Pre-K. So we just kind of vibing, filling out the thing, waiting for Paul Wall to get there. And I'm just kind of talking to old girl, kind of getting to know her, kind of feel the vibe. We had on the dance floor, She didn't give me no weird energy, nothing seemed crazy and stuff. She seemed kind of cool. She was real calm, laid back. So I'm like, okay, man, I kind of like your vibe. You ain't being too high maintenance or all about yourself. So we can carry on throughout the evening. So as the evening go, we get a little bit more loose. We get to feeling ourselves. Paul show up. I get to take her to introduce him, take pictures and whatnot. And as the evening starts wrapping up, she invited me to leave, go chill with her, whatnot. So, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's late at night, I'll go slide with you, see what you on. And we slide out, go to the crib, do our little thing, start talking after that. So, next morning we wake up, go on about our day. As the week or two go by, we get a little bit more, infatuated with one another and stuff. So, I basically invited her to be my girl. Hey, now we official. Now the entails of that come with, I do music, etc. I do battle rap, whatever, so I'm gonna be out on location at events from time to time. If you're available, you're more than welcome to go. If not, so be it. As I get to know her, I kind of start asking about her. I get to learn about her. The typical things you do when you start getting in a relationship, what you like to eat, whoop-de-woo. As we are going through the concourse of these conversations, she reveals to me that her parents are deceased. So, I feel that's unfortunate, but like any individual I feel that's of a rational mind in that situation would do, I did not press the subject. I was just, offer my condolences. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna ask questions. That's, maybe that's on me, maybe it's not, but I just feel that's how I was raised, like pay respects and keep it moving. If they wanna tell me, they'll tell me. So, I pay it no mind. I don't think nothing of it. I dismiss it as, it's just another detail of the relationship. And we get to moving on, going about our business. I'd say a few weeks after finding this information out, I had scheduled a video shoot. So I haven't had any weird correspondence, red flags, like let me just, investigate, find out, go behind doors. She goes to work, I go to work, come home, we hang out, go about our regular day-to-day activities. Now, she had come to shows, network with some people. There was a particular individual from Denton named Charlie that did like some bars, breakdown of the bars type show that he invited us out to. So we get to networking with this individual. he sets up a video shoot. And he's like, yo, I've got a cipher I'd like to pay you to come out and be involved in. I'm gonna be filming, and I'm gonna go out here and send you all the details. We'll get together. I'll have the artist come arrive, etc. Shoot the video and whatnot. So I'm letting, my girl know, hey, we're gonna go out to a video shoot today. If it would behoove you, and you free and whatnot, I would like you to attend. So we go about the normal day. I get out to the video shoot, network with the artist, introduce it to the people. I'm upstairs going to film, get ready to film my verse and whatnot, and I handle all that. I take care of business there. And as I'm filming my verse, I feel like my phone going up, thinking nothing of it, notification, whatever. I literally finished recording my verse and stepped to the side while they still filming. I got my brother Cato with me, a couple other people there with me. And I look down at my phone and it's a notification for like a message request. You know how you get one if it's like if somebody try to send you a friend request, send you a message, but y'all ain't friends yet. So it's just got that little request thing. And I noticed it, but it seemed kind of funny because it was a female whose face I thought I had seen somewhere, but I couldn't recall where. I didn't know if, maybe I just seen them in passing to the show, like a fan thing or something. So I was like, let me go look at this message, see who this from, while I got a second. And I go to open this message up, and that's when I got a bombshell dropped on me. So now, before I reveal the bombshell, I would like to tell you, in the course of that little 2 months or whatever that we had been having our relationship, this individual told me, that the time of their mother's passing was coming upon us. Could we do some type of celebration event or something, in remembrance of? Which I, as an individual, have no problem doing that. I was like, I think that would be good. If it's good for you, it's good for me. I'll coordinate something with you. So I take it upon myself to help this girl coordinate a balloon release and memorial ceremony in tribute to her mother, where we literally go to the store. I buy the balloons, get them filled up with helium. I buy a card. I write a speech to say, because, I ain't never met the woman, but I want to say something respectful since I'm with her daughter. I go to the lake, Bimbrick Lake, form a little rock formation, say some, words, shed a tear, do the balloon release. So I've paid my respects to her fallen mother. Now fast forward back to this music video. As I open this message, I look down and the individual says, hi, I know you may be unfamiliar with me, but I'm a friend of your girlfriend or an ex-friend, and I have some information I need to reveal to you and share with you. So instantly my curiosity is piqued. I'm like, what is this all about? Because people usually just don't come out the woodworks with information that's just good news in my experience. So naturally, I'm kind of wondering what's up. A, can I take it with a grain of salt? Is it just somebody, maybe from this individual's past? Because I try to give them face value. Or is it something I need, if they got hardcore evidence, I might have to address it. Well, at that time, she reveals to me through text messages that she sent screenshots of that my current girlfriend was cheating with her husband. So this was a married woman, but to take it a step further, it was my current girlfriend's ex-husband. So she had divorced this dude, went back and was apparently cheating with him. The girl that sent me the stuff sends me pictures of their conversations, pictures of their videos and pics that they traded, blurred out, whatnot, but clearly audibly enough and visibly enough to where I can see who the individual is in question. Like, yep, that's clearly the individual I'm with or was at the time. So I'm already heated. I don't even want to read the messages. Like, I don't want to keep scrolling. I kind of just stop. Got to take a second to collect myself because I got to be professional. It's not like I can just, yes, I do portray the Joker, but like when a business setting is a business setting, I respect the confines of all the individuals in the room. So that having been said, I was like, this is one of the hardest days and times to bite my tongue because I just found this information out while trying to be business professional and film this video. So I go to get to talking to the girl, like, man, how you know this? To verify. I get the validation from screenshots of their Apple phone she found. I guess something came through. Now, to take it a step further, my girlfriend at the time was trying to solicit herself to said individual and get money in return for what they were doing and was receiving money. So I'm like, you just revealed some crazy stuff to me. Then the mother of all information comes out, and speaking of it, I say it that way for a reason, the mother of all information, because at that point she then sends me a screenshot and reveals to me, hey, not only that, but I need to let you know, she says that her parents are deceased, but her mother is in fact very alive and well. Here is a screenshot of her mother's Facebook. Here is a screenshot of my conversation, dated and timestamped today at 2:37 p.m. in the afternoon, of a conversation with her mother, in which she asked, how are you doing? I had heard you had passed. And her mother responded, I am okay. Unfortunately, that's a rumor that was started by my daughter. I love her to death, but she can't tell the truth to save her life. And as for now, I'm still here ticking and kicking. So I was like mind blown instantly. I'm like, whoa, how can this get any crazier? Like I just revealed some information that A, I'm getting cheated on with your ex-husband. B, the a parent or parents that I thought were deceased are alive and well, because then she followed up and showed me here's her father, who is like at the time he was like at a nursing home. So he's still alive, but he was alive. And I'm like, so A, both your parents are alive. Neither one of them's dead. I just did a balloon release ceremony for your mom and like paid my respects to her. So got all these mixed emotions, not know how to feel. Like, man, like, what do I do with this information? Needless to say, the relationship is over at this point. So I'm like, but it's not just one of them situations where it's like you could just walk away. There's financial things tied in, money that was in play. To take it a step further, I happen to have a habit of being stupid sometimes in public that caught me up on some charges with the state. So that was in play. And I had to navigate that situation because she was involved in that and a part of it. And I was like, the last thing I want to do is scorn a woman and she get on a stand of lie and put me in prison for a long time, because I've seen it happen and I don't want to be a victim of it. So I had to play that, tediously, knowing I'm getting lied to, manipulated, whatever. And then the news that I thought was never going to come and turn for the worse, she gets a call like after I find out this information, she gets a call that her mother actually is in stage 4 cancer and is now being placed in hospice and is set to actually pass any week now. So naturally, I have to go meet the woman. And it's like so confusing because I'm like, hey, I'm like leaving your daughter, but I'm bringing her here to pay her final respects to you, knowing this is the last time either one of us will ever see. It's my only time seeing you, but it'll be her last time seeing you. So that situation in itself is wild. Now, I pay my respects, go about my way, we leave, and about a week later, she ends up passing. It was in the time, I believe it was 2020 when we had the freeze in February, like the big ice freeze and all that. With her being on hospice, they live out in Terrell, so, her machines went down, they lost power. She was unable to pull through. So then I had to process, because I get it sounds funny, and it's not funny. But my literal reaction to getting this phone call, my mother has passed away, I was like, again? And this is my initial thought, I thought she was already, now she gone. I had to go meet her. It was just crazy that it played out that way. Now, her father, as far as I know, is still alive and well to this day. I did actually end up meeting him afterwards for funeral services and whatnot. To this day, I don't really know what's going on in that side. Needless to say, I detached myself when and where I could, but it was a long, wild affair. There were other stories attached to this individual, that played out afterwards that were not nearly as crazy, but were still to some extent wild. That by far has got to be the wildest, though. I'm not really certain how anybody deals with information like that. To me, I think I handled it well, I guess. I don't know. I didn't.
How did you approach her with that news? Once you got the text and saw, what was that conversation?
I'm glad you asked that, because I actually very, very vividly remember I was way more composed than I anticipated I would be. And I basically waited till the shoot was over, and I'm going downstairs to the car knowing we got to leave, and I'm walking to the car with Kata, say my goodbyes to him and the children, get in the vehicle, and I just look her right in the face and say, man, I'm very disappointed in you. Naturally, she like, what you talking about? What you mean? And I'm like, look, man, so you've been with me these past few months. I've been taking you to these events, putting you in positions to help better your life, trying to help better my life. I'm under the impression your parents are dead, and this whole time you going behind my back cheating on me, and your parents are alive. And she's like, no, they're not. What are you talking about? And I'm like, look, man, I know it's that played a dumb game. I get it. That's what most people do. I probably do the same shit. You trying not to admit because you feel guilty, and that's understandable. But I was like, look, Bailey, whatever. You can stop talking because here's the evidence. And I just show her all the text messages and the pictures and the videos and say, you see this right here? That's clearly your body. That's clearly your face and your tattoos. That's your phone number. And these messages are coming from you. I got the same number. So, we can line everything up, and the time and dates, they all match up. I was gone and not around. So everything fall into place. And then what is this? Your mother is alive and well right here, but we just did a ceremony for her. And, she was like, no, my mom, she tried to deny it until I was like in her face and I pulled it up. I was like, okay, well, let's pull it up on your phone since you don't want to trust me. And I pulled it up on her Facebook, like, look, that's your mother. There's a picture of you right there. That's definitely your mother. So at that point, she just basically broke down and started crying. I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't, obviously I was like, I'm not trying to hear it, but I wasn't a dick about it. I just kind of was quiet. I didn't really have much to say because at that point there was nothing to say. It's like, hey man, you're caught and I'm going to get angry if you keep lying to me about it because, I have all the evidence I need. So it was basically at that point like, hey, I'm going to allow you time for us to figure out how we going to go our separate ways, but that's where it's heading. So
about how invested would you say you were? Like if you were to go, like just thinking back, how invested were you? Like what did you expect of the relationship?
At that point, I was pretty fully invested. Like we were already living together. We were already working. She was already around my kids. She'd already met my family. I'd already, thought that she didn't have much family other than like I knew about a sister she had that I'd met. I had met her close friends. She had 2 close friends from high school that, she grew up and graduated with that, everything was real smooth. So I'm thinking, I just got out of a 12-year relationship. I'm thinking we probably about to be in this thing for a minute. We're about to be a long haul. You around my kids like you, we doing things. And we have good rapport. We had good chemistry. It was just stuff like that. I'm like, if you're doing this at this extent, what else are you keeping from me that I will not know about, that I'll never know about? Because some things you ain't gonna get caught for. You don't get caught for everything. And that was the lesson that I had to take because it was more like, but then to be honest with you, like I said, I was dealing with some legal stuff. So honestly, my first feeling was I was a little bit terrified because I was like, if this person's willing to lie about the passing of their parents and literally go do a ceremony and cry, like it's a real, like it really, like I thought they were dead. Like we doing balloon releases at the lake and stuff like that. So to me, my immediate thought was if you are willing to go that far to convince me, somebody that you live with and claim to love, what else will you lie about or do if put under the right type of pressure? And facing legal matters, I know that the state of Texas can really put some pressure on you and people gonna get scared. You might cooperate or corroborate any story that they want you to if I piss you off and irritate you enough and you're just like, fuck him, he threw me on the street, I'm homeless, I'm not gonna look out for him, I ain't got no interest in him, he ain't got no interest for me, so I'm gonna do what I gotta do to look out for myself. That was one of my biggest fears because I was facing some years and luckily, things played out differently. I was able to navigate that, get stuff dropped, and then move on. But like initially that was one of my big fears while on bond probation. Like, man, I don't want this individual to get scorned and clearly lie. And they're good because they made me believe it. And I consider myself pretty intelligent, and clearly they willing to go to extremes to sell this story. Probably wouldn't be hard to make somebody believe that I lost my temper and did some dumb stuff.
What would you have done different in hindsight, 2020, as getting into that really? What would you have looked further deeper into it?
I feel like absolutely I would have gotten to know the individual a little bit more. Like I said, I was coming off being in a long relationship, ended abruptly, unplanned. I had the little whole try to cope with it phase, be alone for a while. And at that point was just like, I'm so sick of being alone. I'm just gonna throw myself into something head first and see what happens. And that's exactly how I approached it. That having been said, I approached things differently moving forward as I met this individual a year or two later. I knew moving into that one, like, how to communicate things, how to address certain things that I had experienced that I hadn't because for one, I had never experienced gaslighting until I had gone through this, because obviously you find out afterwards that there was a bunch of other stuff that was lied about that I had no idea until it just came out to the light from friends. So I kind of knew how to be aware, how to communicate. I would move a little bit slower. Like, hey, I'm not gonna just throw myself into something. Let's go out a couple of times. Let's see how we vibe. Let's see if in the concourse of our hanging out at any said time, one of us ain't really feeling it. Then let's see how we interact with each other, because that's gonna tell me and you right there how we feel moving forward, and we'll know a little bit more about the other person. Get some background, find out about you. Obviously, it played out a little bit differently. This is way less, as far as I know, I've met her parents already, so they're alive and well. We ain't done no ceremonies. So I feel like I would have just kind of slowed it down a little bit. I think being a little bit like numb or lonely from going through the bad breakup kind of rushed me into things a little bit more.
Through the grapevine, have you heard how this individual's doing now? Is she still putting lines?
For a while, I had heard that the things continued. Stuff kind of got bad for her. She kind of got on some drugs. Now, crazy enough, I actually just found out within the past week or two. Now this sounds crazy too, so I had to corroborate this one with actual authorities to make sure, like, hey man, is this legit? Like, cause given the history, hey, I actually found out, unfortunately, that the individual had gotten mixed up with some wrong people and got sold into a sex traffic ring. They got busted out here in Dallas. She got saved and was able to get out of it, and is actually going to be involved in, the opposite side as the victim and stuff. But apparently, it was enough to traumatize the girl. She's cleaned her life up. She's obviously not out here lying, spreading, I think they got her some help that she probably much needed. So, to me, that's good. I always wish well upon people. I'm like, hey man, we didn't have the best experience, but that don't mean I want you to be that way for the rest of your life and other people experience that. Like, I hope you get the help you need. I'm big on mental health awareness myself, because I, like a lot of people, deal with some mental health issues from time to time. So, I was glad to hear that, hey man, at least you're in a good spot. You got a clear head and a clear focus right now. And it seems like you've learned a little bit from what you went through, because it was pretty wild.
Definitely. All right, well, let's close it out with reintroduce yourself. Pac Manson, true story.
Absolutely.
My ex faked their mother's death.
Absolutely.
3, 2.
I am Pac Manson. True story. My ex-girlfriend faked her mother's death to cheat on me.